Good morning, all, and welcome to Down Tempo Land. Down Tempo. Down Tempo. All right. Doing a couple of little things, then we move back to work where we were before. But I can't save this document the way it is. I have to fix it so that I can save it. So in order to fix it, I'm going to finish what I was starting last night. Left myself kind of a mess. It's all right, not a big deal. But we should fix this up, make sure it's done, so I don't have to worry about it. Finish this little bit right here. Then we'll be ready to move back to Airship 27, which is today's job. Still on Airship 27 as far as the task goes. Mostly. I'm completely confused. What was I doing on this one? Why does this not go the same direction on both sides? Wonders I. Oh, because they're both the same side? Yeah. I'm like, this doesn't fit. This doesn't fit correctly. What's going on? That's fine. an update, which means you're not saving as JPEG, you're saving as not a JPEG. Huh. Like footpaths should be that way. Good morning, David.
Good morning.
How are you this morning?
Terrible as usual, but
As usual.
you know.
As expected.
How about you?
I'm doing fine, actually. I'm feeling much better.
Oh, from the head cold?
Yeah, the head cold had me for a while, but I got over it.
Good, good.
Yeah, I don't like head cold.
No one does.
No one does. So, yeah. Kind of moving along here, just kind of singing a song side by side.
Good, good.
That. Where the internal bay of the landing gear in the back are, too. I think that's these guys. So, yep.
That's cool.
Yeah, day's not going bad so far. We're doing good so far. Rolling out okay.
Good, good.
Yeah. So, yep, I'm going to save this and then save as. So we're vacillating back and forth between saving as a clip file and saving as a JPEG. There we go. Looks like I guessed correctly on 3 of those. Some I didn't quite get. That's all right. I decided to go on ahead and paint her in her colors like she's supposed to be.
Cool, cool.
So now it's this light green and this light blue. It's her standard colors, so that's kind of cool. I've got to fix that engine up, though, because the engine pods are the wrong colors, but that's okay. Okay, music got to die. Now we're just down to thump, 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 thump. Okay.
Okay, that's better.
There we go.
Well, I'm excited for tomorrow.
Yeah, Yeah, and I'm actually feeling a whole lot better, so I'm back on duty for tomorrow. Whereas before I was like, I don't know, guys. Yeah. But I feel fine today, so
Good.
I'm looking forward to tomorrow. We won't have Pepper, but that's understandable.
What happened?
Oh, you didn't. Pepper had to return the child.
What?
Yeah. So that was a sad time.
Why? It's not like it's a product launch or something.
No, but apparently Colorado law allows the mother to change her mind.
Oh shit.
So then Raph's family got hit this morning too. Raph's and Christina's.
Yeah, I know.
And so it's like, man, 2023 is off to a lousy ass start.
Yeah, it is.
So yeah, Pepper and Bill are gonna lay low for a little while. They'll come back a little later on, regroup, come up with Plan B.
All right.
So yeah, but it's pretty lousy.
Well, I guess it'll just be the old crew then.
Yeah. We just you, me, and maybe even not even Can. Can was saying that he wasn't feeling like he was feeling like he was going to take a break this weekend, and he was even questioning whether he was going to be with us or not. And that's fine. It's just you and me. That's okay. We can make this work.
Well, it's gonna be you, me, and Bob then.
Totally cool.
Bob's definitely coming.
Works for me.
So yeah, just you, me, and Bob then maybe. Oh man, I'm tired still.
Yeah. Bob, you and me. Is the music too loud again? Yes, the music's too loud.
The what?
Music's too loud.
No, it's fine.
Music defaults to 50, and it's always overpowering our microphones. Part of it is that I don't want to wear a headset while doing this because it's uncomfortable. I have horrible psoriasis around my ears, and so it makes wearing headphones or earbuds or anything of that sort uncomfortable after a certain amount of time. Everything starts to itch, and then it's like, ugh. So I don't like to wear headphones if I can avoid it.
I got you.
But I have a really nice microphone setup that does trim the sound.
Good.
So anyway, we're just chatting. As is, we're just chatting.
Excuse me.
Should the lifeboats have like some kind of identifier? They probably should.
No, that makes them easy to pick out when the thing gets shot down.
I'm talking about on the hull. Like, yeah, I mean, obviously the lifeboats that are ejected, probably not, but like the lifeboat stations on the ship. I also have to like weigh in two different thought processes, two different schools of thought.
Yeah.
One, it's a military ship, right? Where are the lifeboats on, say, an aircraft carrier, right? Not something I think about when I think of an aircraft carrier. You know what I mean? So clearly lifeboat stations are there. There are definitely lifeboats on an aircraft carrier, but where are they? You don't see them. It's not like they're, you know, like a cruise ship where they're just dangling off the sides of the ship.
Yeah, true.
Good morning, Brent. I am here, ish. I am more isher than you are. And I promise I will get back to working on Silver Pentacle here in a minute. I just have to finish what I was doing while I was being a space cadet before I can save all of this and close it. So yeah, I mean, like, I don't know, where are the lifeboat stations? You know what? Now I'm curious.
That's what Google's for.
Yep. Huh. Oh, damn. The lifeboat stations are actually really elaborate.
Yeah.
Yeah, they've got like ramps and everything.
That's everything. Nice.
Yeah, somebody actually asked this question. Cleaning a carrier must be so much fun.
I'm sure it's done by a whole crew of people.
Yep. Yeah. Can you see the screen? Check that out.
Nice.
Like, they got little like escape ramps that go down to their lifeboats. It's so kick butt. Like, that's like more elaborate than I expected. That is pretty awesome, actually. Like, well, damn. The slip and slides. Yep. Of course, if we had Brent or Donald here, they could have told us all about this. But Brent just came on while I was asking this question. So there was that. It's so wild. Who knew? Well, yeah, but the question was, I don't ever see lifeboat stations on military vessels. So the question really is, I know they have them. I know that there are lifeboat stations. I have no earthly idea where they are or what spot they hold. You know, I'll see a launch on a military ship, but I've never even really considered lifeboat stations. So now I'm sitting here kind of looking at the kittiwake going, should I put rescue information around the lifeboat stations? And I was like, there's two schools of thought here. One, the military school of thought. You don't want to highlight your lifeboats. Two, the you want to be rescued school of thought, which is you want to highlight your lifeboats. You know, like, how deep into the war were we when the Kittiwake was built that she would be built with stealthy lifeboats, you know? And they've been at peace for a while. So I think that I'm going to look to the modern U.S. Navy. The modern U.S. Navy was clearly putting out safety orange lifeboats there. I mean, those were definitely safety orange. So I'm going to work with the school of thought of safety orange lifeboat stations. Which I think should be accurate. You okay there, Brent? You do seem low energy. I mean, on the plus side, you did manage to probably pawn off your kiddo onto the school system, which is something I'm totally enjoying. Pawned off my kid to the school system. Yay!
All right, well, I'm going to go take a shower. I'll see you guys later.
See you later, man. Thanks for joining.
I got to Aurora today, so.
It's all good.
Yeah, always a pleasure.
For a minute or two.
Mm-hmm.
Gotcha. Just making sure you're all right. Busy is absolutely acceptable. It's all right, man. It's totally okay. I was sick yesterday and I was not feeling well and I didn't want to do work and I didn't want to work on Airship 27 at all. And so I was dinking around with the texture maps because it made me feel better. You would have just been frustrated with me anyway. You've been like, why are you not working on Airship 27? You promised you'd work on Airship 27. I just was sick and I was not happy. And so I just did texture maps because that makes me happy. No, I totally have been. Have you missed it? You've missed it, haven't you? Oh, we opened a lot of crap yesterday, didn't we? I was so space cadet-y. We should open it anyway because we're going to work on it today. Yeah, this is where we are on that. We're actually doing pretty good. I mean, this could go to ink after I just gotta, today I'm gonna have to go back through and make sure all these characters look like they're supposed to. But we just haven't gotten into that yet because that was a lot of extra crap I didn't want to go into at the time. yesterday was, this is going to be kind of the hard one. So we're doing fine. Oh, start to expand is not good. They're not supposed to expand. That's bad. Oh, expanding is bad. New laptop. It's funny how my world has changed so much. Now, laptops are very critically always surfaces for me. Like, because it's a very specific job I do with laptops. Very, very specific. And it has to be able to draw. And I guess I could do an iPad Pro, but it has a very, very specific job. I only say that because I know that you have a very different mission statement for what your laptop must do. And I'm like, there once was a time when I was such a power user. And now all I needed to do is be able to draw. That's all I needed to be able to do. I love thinking stuff out like this. Like this And this is the lifeboat station. Well, this top level lifeboat station has a breakaway panel before that lifeboat can eject. This top lifeboat is half buried in this breakaway panel, right? So this breakaway panel is also going to have to be identified in orange so that you can see that that panel is going to go blap and break away. The lifeboat will slide out. But because of that, we've got to put the safety markings on it. It makes me happy. These things make me happy. I admit openly that I'm a weirdo, but you know what? It's fine. Anyway, also, I should be a little bit more understanding. So pour one out for your laptop. Because I know it's like losing a buddy, man. Losing a buddy. Pour one out for the laptop. Here we go. Lifeboat stations, complete with their emergency eject instructions. We're getting there. This newer, better version of the ship is going to be much, much nicer. Hey, you. Hey, you. How are you? Yeah, me too. If you want to come up here and visit, you know the rules. Yeah, those are the rules. It's because there's very strict rules about this. Take a George break. You can always take a George break. Now your tail's just in the way of everybody. See, now you're not wet anymore, you little weirdo. You're the first cat that I've ever had that actually does like stand on my keyboard to prevent it from doing work. When you were a head cat, you did that before. Sometimes we have to have time with George. He requires time. George just requires time sometimes. It's a busy Friday for everybody, isn't it? Brent's busy. Everybody's busy. Those eye bookers you have, though. Oh, yeah, what a good cat. Oh, what a good cat. Oh, what a good cat. Oh, yeah. You're a little weird, but you're my cat. Tis the way of the world. If you're just joining me on a George break, it's George. Who actually, this is my boss, everybody, the person in charge. Actually, I always think that Dub is in charge. This is like my goofy coworker who gets me into trouble from time to time. That's what I sort of see George as. You're my goofy coworker who's like trying to get me to go out to drinks at night and stuff. That's what you are. That's what you are. Yeah, he pays in purrs. I was like, that was good. Alright, at some point here, though, I gotta get back to work. I love you to the end of the earth, but at some point, I gotta get back to work. I gotta get back to work somewhere. There we go. There you go. Whew, there's cat hair everywhere. Okay, but we already did this. You're trying to get it again. We already did this. We did this. We did this. We already went through this once. I was here, remember? You were here. We were both here. We did this already. Now you have a butt in the way. I do have to work. Weirdo. I still have to work somewhere along. I mean, don't get me wrong. I do love you. You are a good cat, but you're also a pass. Okay. Okay. Usually holding him like a baby makes him like finally give up on me. Although today he just seems to be enjoying it quite a bit more. The only problem is I really need to trim your claws. Because I only have a few more minutes left on this, my own personal timer, before I decide I need to get back to work. Okay, George, I love you. We gotta go. We gotta work. We gotta do work. George, that's not helping. not leave my coffee alone. All right. It's stand-up time anyway. This is how this works. Zoom. Here. I can scooch you like this. Do this. There we go. Now he's leaving. Oh, good job, guy. You guessed. Holy. Once it's correct. I'll bet you it's the other side. 10-1. All right. The good news is that I don't really need to mark this later. Once we've got this under control. All right. Now let's check to see what happens. Update. There we go. That's what we want. The flaps underneath need to be light blue. On top, they need to be green. I feel like there should be a moment in our script where Alex walks off the ramp and turns around and looks up and realizes how terribly human this ship is. Like, she sees that it's like a very human vessel. I feel like that would be a great scene where she's like, because of course, top down rule here on the story. Every time she's been in a spaceship up until recently, it's been alien ship. Now she's actually on something that was human designed. You know what? At some point, Brent, I should send you all of the master files of all of these things. In case anything happens to, speaking of, in case anything happens to, by the way, I don't think I've ever told you, but the box over here is called QuaCk. It was oddly started by my buddy, Jackie, because she built me a white box server once and called it Tamerlan. And this is the ancestor of that white box server. And so I just called it QuaCk because QuaCk. But a lot of this stuff is up on cloud. But it occurs to me that if anything ever happens to me and my wife just cannot seem to somehow figure out how to work the cloud or anything like that, it'd be nice if there was an external spot where somebody's got somebody says, I've got all the models, I've got all the stuff, because legitimately, it's something to think about. I'm 50. There's going to come a time where we really are going to need to discuss whether I am, going to continue on or whatever. And it'd be nice if the long arc got completed. And honestly, with all the models and everything like that, somebody could pretty much plug and play the artwork, a lot of it. I don't think I could. I mean, it's not like it's complicated, especially if you've got the models. So, something to think about. I'm hedging my bets. And like I said, all I really want in life is for this story to escape. I've got other stories. So once this story has escaped, I can retire and do other stories and be fine. And it won't be urgent. It won't press on me like this one does. This one has pressure. Right? And hello, Donald. Okay, Donald. Lifeboats on aircraft carriers or lifeboats on Navy ships. They're all inflatables, yeah? That's also something that's out there. So, Donald, we were just talking earlier about lifeboats and life stations because there are lifeboats on the Kittiwake right here. And I have been highlighting them in orange because my thought was they're safety features. And so you want people to come to the lifeboat stations and pull the lifeboats out. Oh, not a lot. What I might just do, Brent, is just share the OneDrive folder with you at some point down the road. And then, well, I guess it depends. Let me see. Let's find out. 29 gigs. So far, it's not that big. And let me just say, for the record, that I just said something that I would have never imagined I would say, which is, it's only 29 gigs. That's nothing. Barely an inconvenience. Anyway, Donald, lifeboat stations on Navy vessels should be highlighted, yeah? I mean, this is not a warship. We're not at wartime right now. There is a different paint scheme for her when she's at war. Two or three that are designed to... Okay, that's fair. Well, that's what I was saying last night was, on top of all of this, the lifeboats themselves have external stations, like external shelters that you can clamp onto when you're in hard vacuum, because the spacesuits will hold life support for 2 hours and then can be plugged in and recharged while you're in them. So, like, it's inconvenient and unpleasant, but you could theoretically seek shelter on the outside of a lifeboat in a shelter, like an inflatable shelter or something like that, which might also be a thing, so that the lifeboats can carry far more than... Yeah, well, we've got definitely the MPV as a lifeboat of 6, right? Because you can use that to hold 6 or more and deploy. Each lifeboat station holds, I think, 10. I don't remember. I had it up. Yeah, because each lifeboat station holds 10, and there's 8 stations, so it must not hold 10, because it holds all 48 crew plus 10. So each lifeboat can hold whatever is 58 divided by 8. Anyway. But the lifeboat stations are at the center core of the vehicle. So it is a thing. But the question really is that you don't see anything wrong with me highlighting them in orange, yeah? The lifeboat station should hold everybody just fine. Hold up to 25 for rations for about 15. Tell me this isn't a government operation. Yep. That sounds about right. Well, Bob, I'm sorry, but you're the first one to be eaten by the rest of us because we run out of rats. Okay, I'm easily entertained. I'm always easily entertained. I don't know how you think any differently. right? Rations only keep for about a week. I mean, that makes sense. I mean, in some sense, that makes. But in a week, you should be found, and that's pretty much what I'm thinking too. In a week, we can rescue a ship and her crew. Outside of a week, it starts to get a little bit hairy, but that's all right. All right. Now we're moving along here. I think we should go ahead and put in the lifeboat stations themselves because we actually have that graphic. It's not on this one though. Part of the reason we're doing this job is because there's 4 of these. Yep. I was noticing that the lifeboats now are covered for that very reason. Where are the lifeboat stations here? I see them, but I don't see them marked. Part of the reason we did this job is because everything is so screwed up. Well, it's not out there. Where the heck is it? Sometimes I think I intentionally made my life difficult. Like the forward hall's in a different place completely. Yeah, space, oxygen, heat are going to be a priority. I mean, effectively, they're life boxes. That's what they're going to be. Somewhere is a map of all of the. I don't get it. So part of this was, space hazards are worse than the ocean. There's no question about that. You're in sad shape if you end up in the water, so to speak. It's not a pleasant thing. I think honestly, what I would have is I would have like a pop-up tent sort of thing on the top of all of the lifeboats that you could pull and push, so that it pulls a garage, so to speak, up on top, so that anybody who needs to get into the lifeboats can get into the lifeboats and sit in this like upper pressurized chamber, so it makes it a 2-story lifeboat, so to speak. But it still gives armor to people who are stuck out there, instead of. I think that would be a much more reasonable thing. I mean, It's not going to matter in the ultimate long run because it's still going to be unpleasantly brutal if you get caught out there. Okay, so why don't I have lifeboat stations? I mean, I see them marked here, but they're not. I don't have the lifeboat stations themselves actually on this map. Like, were they just not there? What happened here? I remember making the lifeboat stations. Right? I can see them. There are lifeboat stations there. Where are they? Yeah. There's going to be a lot of stuff we're going to have to think about lifeboats. But luckily, at the moment, nobody is suffering from a lifeboat problem. I mean, none of my stories require lifeboats. But that's only the next 2 stories that are plotted out. So I did. This one's near the bridge. I'm finding it interesting that that one's not on this upper model either. It's because I redid the hull. That's right. Because lifeboat station number 1 is up here near the bridge. You're right. And there's no cut in the model for it, so it's just going to have to sit on the outside, which is fine. It's high enough up that I'm sure that we could just put it on that model. But where is it? Okay. That just means that I have the wrong one open. Because that's the one that needs to be opened. No? Yes, no, maybe, maybe, maybe. Because these are the lifeboat stations right there. Why are they not showing up where they're supposed to? .510 Corvette main hull 01. That's why. There we go. So that's what the lifeboat stations should read. And we really should put this lifeboat station up here and then just make it just be exist as it is. We'll just say that it's fine and then hope that by the time we ever get around needing that lifeboat station for whatever reason, we will have figured this problem out. This one up here? Well, yeah, but that doesn't. It'll be fine to add it. It's just part of the. It doesn't need to be recessed into the hull. The VIP lifeboats. VIP port and starboard is this room right here. It's between these two lifeboat stations. So most of the lifeboat stations are yeah. That's pretty much exactly what's on board with each one of these lifeboats, Donald, is there'll be a beacon and a there'll be a beacon and life support for a week for whatever 15 people, whatever's the storage on this, plus a garage on top. Because one of the other things that can happen is you can everybody's spacesuit, everybody's uniform is space type, and so the lifeboat's set up where you can pressurize one half and depressurize the other half. So it'll hold 15 people. You can crush everybody into one side of it and close off the other half, and then pull the oxygen out of it and use it as an airlock to go up on top of the lifeboat, where there can be an extended garage where you can sit out there for a while and there's some room to do things. See the squirrel? So that's lifeboat station number 1. And we will trim it properly. Oh, I know why. There we go. Right, tow cable, torch. There's gonna be all kinds of things we're gonna need from that. I agree. It's funny, this is another one of those things where I'm benefiting off of the mistakes Star Trek made. The original Enterprise had no lifeboats at all. Not because of anything other than Jeffries didn't think about it. And later on in the TNG era, when they can't well, we don't have tractor beams either, so tow cables it is. Best we can do is gravity repulsion and pressing, which we can do. All right, that's a lifeboat station. Now I just need to figure out where the other lifeboat stations went. I think that's these guys right here. These are all of my lifeboat stations. And I'm unsure. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we're going to find out. Near the landing ramp? I don't think so. I think they're here. I think these are them. I think that's what these guys are. So we're gonna put it in multiply temporarily. And I'll just put them all forward. There you go. Good news is these guys will end up being all standardized materials. Good morning, Bob. We are building lifeboat stations for reasons. I am feeling much better, thank you. I am back up to operational, screwing around us. For better or for worse. I sound a whole lot better, yeah. Wasn't doing so. You know what? I think this is this way. We'll see. Definitely going to see whether that works or not. I'm hoping. That's probably a lifeboat there too. We'll see. Those are probably lifeboats, but what I'm going to do here is just real quick save it, see what kind of trouble we can get into here, and see what they show up like on the model. There we go. Yep. One of them is upside down, two of them is upside down. Everything on this side's right. There's good news and there's bad news. The bad news is that some of these guys are completely screwed up. That's the thing. Other than that, though, the lifeboats look like they're fine. So, yeah, probably. We got two lifeboats that are upside down. Other than that, everything looks like it's fine on there. Right? Well, and we don't know exactly how many people will be on board. I mean, you could have VIPs, you could have anything could happen. Moreover, I mean, if you end up with Mae Wests in the water, so to speak, the wing route. So this station up here, it ejects this orange piece. See how it's orange trimmed? That piece comes off. It blows away with explosive bolts. So that lifeboat just ejects normally. So yeah, and these aren't actually the boats. These are just the cover doors over the boats. So they don't need to have 510 on them. These aren't the boats themselves. These are the blowaway doors that are in there, the outer shell pieces. So like this lifeboat up here is one shell piece that'll just blow away all at once. So it'd be this crooked door and blows away. Right? Yeah. like I said, there's a lot of failure points on this, but that doesn't necessarily mean that we don't do it. It just means that there's a lot of failure points. All right. All right, I think I've done. Yep. There is, I mean, like, that's the thing. You could definitely throw your Chakrana out there. But Chakrana don't do, they can't maneuver in space, but they can live in hard vacuum just fine. So you could always have your Chakrana crew members go out there and grab people, you know? So that's an uncommon thought. All right. So this is the old version. This is the new version. The redo is down here. This guy's takes up as much memory, but is a worse model, which cracks me up. If it was a cute animal, you mean not a Dorito chip with legs, a three-legged Dorito chip? Yeah, tell me about it. Kiddo wants to watch Voyager. I find that funny. Be right back. We are still dealing with gross outpourings of the cold. Ugh. My system is still flushing everything. Voyager is a good one, though. I always feel good about it. So I agree with you, Max. Yeah, Max, Jerry. I agree with you that each series has a different job for me. I feel like when I work on Bellatrix, I like to watch Enterprise because I feel like we're in that era with this. We're still kind of on the fingertip edge of an explored galaxy, and I mean, there's a lot more galaxy being utilized in Bellatrix. See you later, Brent. So anyway, I'm TLDR. I concur. One thing I will do though is match the size of these two, because our newer version of this should be the same scale. What in the world are you doing? There. That way she fits. And actually, you need to be rotated 180 degrees. That's your biggest problem, dude. You're facing the wrong way. This way. There. There we go. Now we can see where we are on the status of this. I think we're okay with the changes on the tail fins and everything like that. So Right. I do like I do like the idea of I do watch Toss a lot whenever I'm sick. And that's from my childhood because that was what I would do on sick days. Would was as soon as we'd gotten a VHS player, which I think was 84 or 85. So I would have been 12 or 13. As soon as we got a VHS player, the first thing I did was record as many Toss episodes as I could on a VHS tape. And I had these 6 or 7 tapes that would run 6-hour mode. And because it didn't need to be high quality, it didn't need to be, I knew the episodes so well that at that point in time, it didn't need to be super awesome. So I'd, go downstairs and put pillows and blankets on the couch and put in one of these 6-hour tapes and hit play and sleep and wake up and sleep and wake up for 6 hours. And then I'd eject that tape and put the next tape in and sleep and wake up and sleep and wake up for the next 6 hours. And that was my go-to when I was sick. So now when I'm sick, I do the same thing. Streaming is great, except that recently they've started doing are you still watching? Because we need you to press yes if you're still watching. And I'm like, yeah, see, here's the thing. It's like, not really that big on pressing yes to say I'm still watching. So there's that. So, yeah, the idle timers which is one of the reasons why I've been collecting all of them now as MP4s on my PC. Because at some point, I'll just have a hammock in here or something, a little place to lay down and stuff, and then I can just run MP4s. That's one of the things I loved about Winamp, which I still use Winamp for, is because you can set it for random. And so now I have every episode of Star Trek that I can get that I have so far, which is all of TNG, all of TOS, most of DS9, 3/4 of Enterprise, all of Voyager, and some of the new ones, all in a folder. I load them all into Winamp, and then I just let Winamp randomly pick episodes, and it just hops all over the system, Yeah, maybe. They do have on the Paramount Plus network or they did, I don't know if they still do, they did have a channel that you could subscribe to on there, which was just Star Trek all the time. The problem is that they run in lines. So episodes 25 through 35 of TNG, followed by episodes 15 through 20 of Deep Space Nine. And I wish that it wasn't like that, but rather just randomly picked all over the place so that you get an episode of Lower Decks, followed by an episode of TOS, followed by an episode of TNG, followed by, or you could do them in logical groups. Like, here is the entire thread of all the Vulcan stuff you've ever needed to know. Anytime any episode has gone into Vulcans. So you could run the Vulcan Forge from Enterprise, followed by Amok Time and Time Amok, which would be a Strange New Worlds and a TOS episode. You know what I mean? Like, it's one of those things where, like, you could pick all of those episodes in the same unit, followed by Star Trek 3. I mean, like, Star Trek 3 was where they really dove into all of the stuff that was going on there. So, thoughts like that. These are the things I think about whenever I have nothing better to do with my life. All right. I feel like I've done enough damage here. The thing I really think is cool is that you can't really tell that station number 1 is not part of these other stations here. That's kind of nice. Are we back to just drums again? What is it with the music? All right. We've still got a long ways to go on the QuaCk, but she's doing much better now. Yeah, and it's really only when I'm sick. When I'm sick, I like just have a cold or whatever. I like to lay in bed and just zone in and out and watch random episodes of Star Trek. I can't store them all on my tablet yet. I mean, I'm sure at some point in time, my bedtime tablet will have the capacity to handle. Okay, open enrollment. I don't need to worry about open enrollment. That sounds remarkably. Jerry, that was a non sequitur. What are you headed for over there, bud? Yeah, we actually made those jokes with the iPad when they first came out. It was like, these are just iPad to do. We were entertained. All right. Call you good. Save you for right now. Because we're going to keep the original model. That's this guy. And then this is the new model. And they should be at least remotely similar enough that when you see it, you'll be like, okay, that's the same shit. Right? So we're after here. Right? That's why I like my surfaces. Oh, gotcha. No, your brain is wired pretty much like the rest of us in this group. I mean, I hate to say this, but you're just one of us. One of us. One of us. Okay. It looks like the clamshells in the engines are probably a little too tight. I don't worry too much about that. After we've done this hero version of the QuaCk, we're gonna have to do a hero version of the Princess MPV. But I'm not that pressed at this moment. Doctor Who's another channel. That's cool. The ramp is backwards. I guess that doesn't surprise me. Actually, the ramp is not backwards. The ramp just needs to be silver on both sides. That's all. And before, there was nothing else here inside the internal bay. So when you dropped the landing ramp. Oh yeah, I agree. When you dropped the landing ramp down, you couldn't see clearly, but here, now you can see into the actual ship, into the landing loading bay area. Which is why I keep saying, guys, we need to remember the clearance level of the ship, because this is a standard deck height right there in that tail section right there. Right? So, I mean, like, it's 3 decks above the ground or 2 decks above the ground. I mean, even the engine pods are too high for a human to reach up and touch the engines if they're standing underneath the engine pods. I keep forgetting how big this ship is. Because she's not tiny. Okay, some of these pieces back here are clearly near the like you and you. This section here. Might as well mark it right here. Since it's going to be there, and since I'm going to find out about it anyway, I might as well write that down. What's this on paper? Which I guess kind of makes some sense. I'm seeing the lifeboats showing up on the ship in the weird places. For example, you can see the edge of the lifeboats here, right? Yeah. I don't know if I want the mouse to have control of that. Although, yeah, we're here. That is huge. We're going to have to remember to do some detailing work on the underside here. Right? Could be. To remember to do some under chin work here. Yeah, actually, kind of liking that. Mariah's a Whovian. She always has been. So having Doctor Who on Disney Plus is not going to hurt us at all. We'll be able to watch Doctor Who here as a family, which would be great. So, all right. Yep. And that's what led me to realizing that they've got and it's mostly our weirdly shaped one over here. The two weirdly shaped ones that have the blowout doors. Yeah, I'm hearing the 60th anniversary is 6, but not only that, I mean, you guys have seen the trailer, right? Like, all of you guys have seen the trailer where we're all like, oh, 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 hey, you, I don't need help. Thank you, though. It is nice to know, though, that at least in some part here, my Microsoft account has figured out that I'm a Trekkie. I'd rather have that than Viagra ads. That's really what it boils down to. Somewhere along the line recently, my Facebook has forgotten the face of its father or something. I don't know. Anyway, whatever's happening, my Facebook has started with the Viagra ads. And it's like, wait, I know these teeth. Oh man, that's so cool. He is my wife's favorite doctor. So she is super psyched. She is supercharged. Clara is my favorite companion. I love her. She is so funny. So I did this exact same thing, if you guys are wondering, with the Timberland. At one point in time, we had a little T version, and then I went back after doing a couple of comics. I went back and cleaned up her model. So this is the same thing, but with the kitty wake. We're cleaning up the model, making it much more functional now. We're not in any hurry to put out the next issue. So cleaning up the model is a good idea at this point. So that's what we're doing here. We're just kind of policing the model a little bit, making sure she's okay and cleaned up and ready for all of the future everythings that need to be done. Right? The loading ramp needs to be changed. We need to change color on the loading ramp because the bottom of the loading ramp is also going to be silver. Where's the bottom of the loading ramp? Is that you? Probably you. We'll see. We'll go down here to colors and go boop and see if that fixes that problem. So again, if you're wondering why we're doing color all of a sudden, for a couple of reasons. One, the cover of issue 1 should not have had the kitty wake in black and white. She should have been in color. And that's because color pages, she should be portrayed in the color codes and the correct colors. In this instance, she wasn't, and that's okay. We'll live. It's not the end of the world. 2, what will happen next is we will take the color maps and make a black and white map that is the color map in black and white. And then that way, it'll be lightened up so it's all white and black pretty dramatically. Because the light green and the light blue really don't show up as anything but white in black and white. But she has color, and her color is this sort of light green with a blue underhull. We might as well put her in color. I am not going to have a lot of fun with these hexagons, I'm just saying. Especially since this section here is different here. I chose different polygons to go through that zone there. Sarah Jane Adventure. I am so sad about Sarah Jane Adventures. Makes me sad still. It's still too soon. Ooh, looks like the nose wheels need to be blue as well. And the outside of the landing gears, doors. In fact, it looks like all doors should be blue. So, all right. Yeah, those are heat tiles. They're specific heat tiles. They've got a very specific job. The ship can handle quite a bit. I mean, really, it's just dissipating heat off of the center core so that the core won't heat up too much if it has to re-enter at a high speed. But the truth is that usually now, the way that starships will work is they're not operating in the same function as a spacecraft today, because really what'll happen is they'll hit a 0-0 intercept on the planet, and rather than having to come in at 40,000 miles an hour and burn their way into the atmosphere, they'll just come in like this, stop, turn around, and then enter the atmosphere at 200 miles an hour or 700 miles an hour, or maximum air velocity. And they'll just drop in from orbit from there like that. So one of the reasons we make it aerodynamic is so that she still cuts through the air all right. But the truth is she doesn't really need a whole lot of, like she's not beholden to the atmospheres. Biggest problem with that is speed. Like in an atmosphere, if you're limited to 700 miles an hour, it's still going to take you days to go around the planet. So they don't spend a lot of time in the atmosphere if they can avoid it. They'll do they'll take off, aim straight up, go into space, where they can then go 1 billion miles an hour and then drop back down again on some other part of the planet. The only time they stay in atmosphere is when they're doing something like we see in Momentary Ghosts, where they're doing search and rescue. When they're in SAR mode, they'll travel along because 700 miles an hour is just fine, because you're looking for people, you're looking for things. So traveling at 700 miles per hour isn't going to hurt anybody. So I'm really getting over all the music. It's being weird today. All right. You can see, Bob, what I was talking about before. The front nose gear extends with a hook, and it shouldn't be right up on the hull of the ship like it's here. So we're going to drop that down. That's a bone air issue. We'll fix that problem, and then once we fix that problem, it'll be good. There. Now you should climb up into the hull like that and lock in solid. Yep. See in, put them down, we have her extended like that. Perfect. That's the idea. Yep, you got it. That's the idea. Breaks the seal in the bay. You should be able to climb around in the landing gear bay when she's in space. So the Matt Jeffries School of Starship Operations. That's a not livable space, but it is space. That's usable. It's usable space. Sure. So we're gonna go about 4 minutes left in the show this morning. I feel like I have completely spent the entire time messing with the kitty wing, but that's all right. She's a cool ship. Right? Not bad for 60 Starship design. Matt Jeffries knew his stuff. One of the reasons why I am so specific about the things that I'm doing here is the Enterprise has held up over the years. I mean, there are a few things you can knock on the Enterprise and stuff like that, but for the most part, she's held up pretty well over the years. And we're 50 years later now, and the Enterprise is solid. You know, she's still a relatively decent spaceship, whereas like the Jupiter 2 is ridiculous, and all of the stuff that Buck Rogers ever flew was completely stupid. You know what I mean? Like using the, you know, you sit there and you let like an artist kind of just play with the design. They'd be like, oh, I got a little rocket ship going here, you know, and they start doing that kind of thing. You're okay, well, that's fine, but you know, it's kind of like, not sure. Whereas when Jeffries put together the Enterprise, he thought through how would it logically be, and that has let it be still pertinent 60 years later, 50 years later. It still makes sense. So if I think through and spend a little bit of time here, that'll give Bellatrix Rising some timelessness. She should still be relevant. This whole story should still be relevant in 50 years. Right? So, thinking these things through, all we're doing is future-proofing the system a little bit. That's what we're after. Right? I mean, that's pretty much exactly what we're trying to do here, is future-proof the system a little bit. Right. And so thinking about, you know, how does this ship work? What's the logic? Where are the things? Yeah, but I mean, even if you look at the Searcher, which is the ship that was in the new Buck Rogers in the 70s, even if you look at the Searcher, she's not logical. There's a lot of pieces that are not logical about the Searcher. And if you look at a lot of the ways that they designed these ships, it was, this will look really cool. You know, this will look interesting. I like this idea or that idea. And the reality is that that's fine, but you end up with, you reap what you sow when you have, you know, the Searcher doesn't have a lot of logic to it. It doesn't hold up as well. Some of the best designs out there are things like the Eagle. The Eagle is one of the best ones ever of any show. In fact, I think that the Eagle single-handedly holds Space 1999 together. Like, Space 1999 is not a show that you think about at all, but you always think about the Eagles because those made sense. Those are logical. They seem like the next generation of moon vessel, you know. And it was a smart idea, and it was a thought process that worked. So spending some quality time thinking through the logic of these ships, despite the fact that it does seem like it is sort of a waste, isn't really a waste. It's like it makes some sense that we think through the design of the ship a little. I'm not really, I am justifying, but I'm not really justifying for any reason other than I just think that it's kind of a thing, kind of explaining my logic process here. So this is medical right up here, this top part right here, and this is medical's entire lifeboat station. Like most of the medical people will be from here. So I think that lifeboat station should also, this should be rescue, and like primary rescue for the ship is always right here. Because that's where Med Lab is. So, yeah, I'm just, I like thinking through these things. Yeah, you can't tell because I didn't actually share the screen. Yeah. What I was saying was, right here is medical, this section right there. So this lifeboat station is going to be the critical lifeboat station because all the wounded will be in that lifeboat station. Right? We're going to have Eagles in here. Eagles are pretty ships. Not going to lie. All right. We still have a ways to go on this mapping, and I'm not going to mess with it anymore for a while because I am going to try to finish working on Silver Pentacle, which is this guy here. But I also think that one of the things I might do at some point here is move everything into one texture map so that I can find it, so that I can just load the one texture map instead of loading all 20 of these things. Because it's not making this life or this job any easier to try to fuss with that. So, okay, guys. Hi, Brent. Welcome back. We are leaving now. Oh man. Hey, it is Friday, so the next show will be Sunday night, and we will I don't know if the Eagle had enough oomph to get off of Earth without a booster. I think it had to have a booster. Anyway, I will see you all Sunday night. And I hope you guys have a wonderful weekend. And as always, I hope you keep your eyes on this. Yes, that's a Star Maps episode. It'll totally be. Sunday night will be a Star Maps episode. So, Brent, you better be there so you can keep me up with my Star Maps. I'm joking. Star Maps episode. I have better things to do with my world. I have run out of coffee. And I'm going for a walk with Alex, so I better get moving. So, I'll talk to you on Sunday night, and as always, keep your eyes on the stars. Bye-bye.